welcome to episode 3 of Spotlight on LinkedIn Content Creators who happen to be 50 plus. I am Clarine Mitchell, the host of this mini series. And for those who are not familiar with me, I am a full-time business owner, entrepreneur. I am the founder and CEO of TCM Communications. My whole business is focused on changing the trajectory of lives and businesses one LinkedIn profile at a time. I achieve that through one-on-one coaching, corporate training, done-for-you services, which includes optimizing of LinkedIn profiles and creating content. So ghostwriting content for my clients on LinkedIn. But enough of that. This series is all about me being a part of LinkedIn's current U.S. Creator Accelerator program, better known as CAP. And through this program, my project is all about disrupting ageism in the LinkedIn content creation community. And maybe, hey, Brenda, great to see you here. And maybe some are like, what is that about? There's no such thing as ageism in the LinkedIn content creator community. I beg to differ. Just as there's ageism in real life or everyday life, there's ageism in the workplace, there's ageism on LinkedIn as well. LinkedIn is an extension of the workplace. It's the digital online platform for professional and business purposes. So what's going on in the workplace is going on LinkedIn as well. And my mission, my focus with this project for the Creator Accelerator program is to put the spotlight on this truly being an issue, where this is not to say that we hating on or throwing shade or excuse me, it's us versus them as far as other demographics. Is to say that we're here too. And that, yes, maybe the population on LinkedIn is growing with Gen Zs and millennials, but there's a significant number of us, Gen Xers and baby boomers, who are doing our thing on LinkedIn, right? Content creation. And we've been here consistently doing that. And so, again, disrupting and breaking against the stereotype that only younger demographics can create quality social media content. Not true, not true, not true. All right, so enough of that. Let's get into it. So this mini series, it has been, and this again is episode 3. I've been putting a spotlight on some of my faves on on LinkedIn, who I know without a doubt are creating consistent content. Not just creating consistent content on LinkedIn, but they're creating content that provokes engagement, right? Creates conversations, not just content that's sitting there and just getting dust out, so to speak, or going stale, but content that's building community, creating conversations. It's one thing to have content. It's another thing to have content where you can get results from it because you're building community and creating conversations. And so my guest today is an example of someone who fits all of that as far as description is concerned. So welcome, Sheri. Let me just say this before I have you introduce yourself and I get into the interview process. All right, so background wise, Sheri and I are disruptors, period. That's what we do.
That's right for sure. Both officially and not officially, but yes, with a mic, you and I have absolutely been designated as disruptors and disrupt family, and we're damn proud of that, right?
Yes, we are. So we met in 2018 when we both were speakers for Disrupt Milwaukee event, and I spoke about LinkedIn, of course, and Sheri had her topic, and she rocked the stage and was very disruptive on stage with her props. And
some poker chips went flying, but
poker chips went flying everywhere, right? But so we met back in 2018 through the Disrupt process or events, and we've been connected ever since. So it's an honor to have you here with me. Thank you for accepting my invitation, Sheri.
I appreciate the opportunity to contribute, right? And it's very fun for you and I to be able to do this on your platform.
Thank you. So introduce yourself. Who are you? I know who you are. You're Sheri St. Marie, but who are you?
Well, I forget a little bit that I don't talk as much on LinkedIn as I used to. I used to speak every day, right, on videos. So enough lag is gone that people don't know. So I am actually a associate real estate broker in the state of Wisconsin and in Florida. I've been a speaker since I'm 12 years old. I do private consulting to business owners in their personal life for certain reasons. Pretty much I'm a 1099. So if it's legal, I'll think about it if you pay me, but
That's the key. Pay for the intellect, right?
That's exactly right. It's seasoned now, right? We talked about this it's
Mm-hmm.
seasoned now. So it's a little bit more expensive. Thank you.
Exactly. And so let me just get this done right off from the beginning because I said it, but I need you to say it yourself. And you don't have to give your age.
Oh,
But
I do.
are you indeed 50 plus, ma'am?
Ma'am, I will be 55 on December 15th. 55.
You didn't have to say,
I
but
like to. I like to. So here's me. Here's my thing on the ageism thing. Why should I ever be ashamed of it? I've been a woman who my entire life has stated my age just easy and publicly. So no big deal to me. My poor children know I'll probably be the one. I would really like to kind of retire social media, but a lot of people keep telling me, please don't do that. If I'm still on here when I'm 90, my kids know I'm going to be the one who at 90, I'm still going to be in the fun outfits and trying to encourage everybody to live a big life, right? And tell you I'm 90. So I'm good with it. I'm good with it.
Bravo.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
full disclosure, in a unison with you, I'm 56. So
Well, hey, I didn't know. I really didn't know.
As of last May. So
Well, hey.
we'll have to get used to saying 57 soon, but looking beautiful for the age. So
Well,
bravo
thank you.
to you. So let's get into the interview because I see we have an audience and there will be questions, I'm sure. So let's get into the interview. Now, again, I talked about you rocking it on LinkedIn, and you've been doing that consistently, not just come and go and whenever. You've been consistent on the platform. But do you remember, when did you create your LinkedIn profile?
I remember I came kicking and screaming to LinkedIn and did not want to and thought it was the most boring thing I've ever seen. And so how I got on LinkedIn in 2009 was a coworker who was a project manager for the builder I worked with at the time and said, Sheri, you must do this in order to promote your career. And I thought, what in the world am I going to say on there? I don't want a job. I don't have a clue what to post about something. And I was with a conservative builder at that point, which really didn't want anybody to know about me or have my phone number because that might get hired away, right? So she tells me, no, you need to do this. Well, for a while, I was like, I really, this is so boring. I don't mean to disrespect anybody, but I was like, I can't get the funk of how is this? And like, what's the, because it was just like IBM blue suits. And I just am not like that. Over time, I ended up eventually leaving that builder, right, and doing my own thing and finding amazing people like Faith Dye, who and you and whatever. And I got into this, let me be counter in the feed. So by accident, with my own, just the way I am, I typically am not going with what everybody else is doing. And I do that just by not on purpose. It's like, if you guys are all talking about whatever, I'm going to talk about this over here because when you're watching the feed, if it's all the same, it's incredibly draining to everybody, topic wise and whatever. So I was uncomfortable when I first started doing my own style. I've been doing it on Facebook for a really long time, right? And that's a different thing. But when I got challenged by Faith Dye in 2020, then she said, listen, girl, you need to show, right? We call each other girls. All right. She said, listen, girl, she's my soul sister. She said to me, creativity for sure. She said, you have got such a full range that I know you personally. I mean, she stays with me, Wisconsin, Florida, whatever. She's like, you need to let people see your full capacity, which is, smart and big hearted and sassy. And I'm a mama bear, I'll rip your face off. And the funny and the what. And she's like, I want you to let people see you on video like we all know you in real life, right? That was so vulnerable. And in 2020, I made the decision that I will post a video on LinkedIn every single day, whether I want to or not, for the entire year. And that's what really got my habit in there. And what I used to do in the beginning, even though I've been speaking since I was 12, was if I did one that I thought was a little bit too out there, it was like swinging the bat, right? And then I'd go, oh, crud duck, right? And I'd call Faith and go, oh my God, I think that was a little bit too out there for LinkedIn. Like, I don't know. She goes, just stand there. Don't you dare delete that post. Don't you dare. And I'm like, oh my Lord. Now I'm in like full range, right? TikTok was never going to be on LinkedIn. And the
Before,
funny,
I'm sorry, before
yeah,
you start talking about TikTok,
yep,
I want to pull this apart a little.
yeah,
Because you reminded me. So our other mutual friend, Dr. Charlie Cartwright,
yep,
the
love Charlie.
timeline for the two of you is similar, where he started doing his daily videos on LinkedIn in 2020 as well.
Sorry.
Which takes a lot to be. I'm consistent, I'm daily, but doing videos that takes another layer of focus and consistency. So with those everyday videos, what was the engagement like? What was the response? Again, you've already talked about how your style is different, which is great because we need to be our authentic self on the LinkedIn, right?
My engagement was fantastic because back in that day, you know me, all my videos were me speaking 1 to 3 minutes, my wanting to inspire people, wanting to make you think, wanting to make you be, it's provocative, like think about something and do it in your own life. I'm not telling you what to do. So all those videos, 10,000 and some I have on my phone still just from that time period.
Oh my goodness.
I should do something with them. It's really a shame, right? I got 20,000 video photos on my phone right now that are social media of my past couple of years.
Wow.
Those videos were me being, heartfelt and speaking right into the camera to one person. The engagement on them was phenomenal. What I shared with you, and I know Dr. Charlie really well, and I love him. I mean, he's one of my special people, right?
Right.
What happens is that when we got into, I shared with you, when we got into 2020 and the world became so sadly violent and wrong
Right.
and whatever, I'm a voice. I used to speak on everything and I wasn't afraid. And it actually was my mother who said to me at that time, as a single mother with 3 kids, right? I had 1 in high school and 2 in college. She said, I've never asked you this in your entire life before. She went to my first speech when I was 12 years old in front of the whole school, right? Please don't talk about these topics anymore because I'm worried about your safety. Okay. And I am one who didn't used to be quiet because we have a voice, right? And it's what we're supposed to do. And we're supposed to disrupt. But also all of the topics of what was happening at 2020 were, I'm an empath. So it all came at me super hard of like, I love people. I love humanity. I love everybody that is not an asshole, excuse me. And so it was really difficult.
Okay.
Yeah, sorry. I mean, it's me. I'm disrupting. So for me, that part was a little bit difficult. And so, I mean, I certainly could speak about politics and about racism and about the stealing of wealth in this country by particular people and all this stuff. I'm incredibly street smart, educated, and really now that I've spent all these years down in Naples too, my world has just opened up to international and all these things. But it became a thing of women on social media. First of all, it's incredibly hard on us. Let me tell you, every single day, no matter how old we are, we get hit on, we get comments about our bodies, we get, the same junk you didn't used to be able to do in a physical office, but people think they're on social media, so they get to say it to us all, right? And so in all those things, I started to be quiet. And then it became, I'll just make one comment about TikTok. It became lazier and easier with TikTok to go, I'm going to work on my humor and my creative intelligence because people like that. I'm going to do that. And honestly, it became way too easy for me to do that. And then I'm not speaking anymore, right?
Mm-hmm.
And so we all go through these as a creator. When you are a creator, you go through evolution.
Phases. Mm-hmm.
You go through phases. You go through what's the right thing to do. You go through is this worth it to me, myself as a human? Usually I'm always absolutely yes, but I'm also in a different capacity now where I am between states by myself traveling and all this stuff. And that stuff's reality, whether we are female or you'd think it's the young ones, right? I will be 55 and I have still had stalkers and that stuff's not fair to us, and it shuts our voice down and that's wrong.
Right. But you stayed with it, which I admire you for. You and I have communicated through the years of the different kind of messages and that you've received inappropriately, whether on the news feed or direct messages. And I applaud you for staying with it. I've known others who just gave up on LinkedIn and because of, again, the inappropriateness of what sometimes comes at us as women on the platform. So with that process of you, especially the evolution you've gone through or the transition from the just Sheri's real talk kind of videos, if I could say that,
Yeah.
to how you create your TikToks now, where you don't use TikTok for the sake of TikTok, you use TikTok for the sake of leveraging LinkedIn. And which, and again, because in your age, in our age demographic, to do
Yeah.
that, people were like, oh, she can't be tech savvy enough to do that. But people look at your news feed, or I mean your activity section, they're going to see a catalog of these TikTok videos where you're very engaging, very
Thank
um
you.
inspiring, and all of that. So what's been the response though? How has your presence on the platform helped you in reference to your business? Has it helped you generate business, or is it just something you do for fun? And I said that rhetorically because I already know, but share.
I wish I didn't have fun at work. It's so awful. This is the interesting part. When I first got on TikTok, I'll say quickly to everybody, I was incredibly uncomfortable. I was one of those mothers with high school and college kids that I didn't want them on the platform. I didn't want myself on the platform. I was worried about all the conspiracy theories of I'm going to be, kidnapped and taken to wherever because of whoever owns it and all this stuff, right? So my first demise getting onto TikTok, honestly, and I share all this openly so that people don't think, oh, this was some smooth, brilliant plan. No, I was a humiliating mom in the basement of my house during COVID with all three of my kids in college. It's dark at 3 o'clock. I've spoken since I was 12. I thought, how can I challenge my creativity and get on this platform that I don't even understand? And how many videos can I do without talking? That's how I got on TikTok. Okay. So then we fast forward. And what I love about TikTok versus LinkedIn is you don't lose your content. The value of our content is easily discoverable on YouTube and on Instagram and on TikTok. It is not on LinkedIn. It gets lost. It's not searchable. You can't see it. I've put out all this content since 2009 and you can't find it on LinkedIn, right? You can scroll all the way back to the feed. But what I mean is TikTok is one where now I've got hundreds of videos, right? Hundreds and hundreds. And you can just someone can sit there in a night, which this is embarrassing, people do, and they go, oh my God, I found this crazy lady. She's da da da, right? And I
And
have two,
they
and they
binge on
binge
your
and they
on your
binge through the
video.
thing and they go, oh my God, I'm laughing. Or I see her first one that was so embarrassing because I had no clue. Tone Loc was my first TikTok.
Wow.
I had no clue what I was doing. And I am not a dancer anymore. I used to be dance team in high school, so not now, right? But anyway, here's what happened. So it is just ride the bike, right? So I'm like, how do I do this? And how do I get on? And how do trends work? And whatever. I am now to the place that the last 2 years, I am somebody who I work with all sellers and buyers. I'm not one of like, I only do this price point, right? You can see I go from sitting with people who have no home, homeless, to manufactured homes, which are devastating sometimes in a hurricane area, to multimillionaires. I will tell you, my CEOs, that really is a lot of my target on LinkedIn for both business coaching, consulting, and for purchase. Guess what? They picked me because of my TikToks. And here's why. This is what people don't get on LinkedIn.
Your TikToks on LinkedIn.
My TikToks on LinkedIn. I technically don't necessarily care about the TikTok platform. What I'm doing is creating it in the tool because I have to do it over there.
Right.
And I'm putting it in here. When I first put it in LinkedIn, oh my gosh, people were rude. You can't do that. What is this? That's so trashy. Okay. I had a guy the other day who's a consultant to CEOs. And he said, it kills me when people on our own feed tell us what to do, right? I'm like, excuse me, back up. This is my feed. I'm in charge. You have no say here. And you're not in charge of LinkedIn either. And I have never once been banned or deleted on any platform ever. And I do some pretty outrageous things sometimes, right? Like, hello, like keep it going. Like
you do. Don't say outrageous. It's creative. You explore
creative.
the extent of creativity.
I that was so great. I explore the extent of creativity. But anyway, here's the crazy part. This is important for you to understand on LinkedIn. These CEOs that are a lot of times my target audience, they don't want to be on TikTok. They are people who own a company or something that they want no social footprint about. They're super private. They aren't posting where they go on vacation because they don't want the people to see.
Right.
They don't do this stuff. So they don't want a TikTok account or anybody to find out they had a TikTok account. Well,
Right.
guess what? I give them the pleasure of TikTok straight down on LinkedIn. They don't even have to feel dirty or shut their door while they watch it. Like it's
Right.
just, this is work now. And I will tell you, some of my biggest clients have come from 17 to 8-second LinkedIn's. I'm sorry, TikToks,
TikToks on LinkedIn.
because they say, oh my gosh, I didn't think about that. Or you made me laugh. I'm
Mhm.
clearly intelligent. And the thing that's funny is that, yes, I realize a lot of mine has gone much more humor in the last 2 years because a lot of that was on purpose. I want to lighten up the feed because the world's so heavy. So I'm doing it on purpose. Hello.
Mhm.
And when I can make them laugh and then they realize I also have some intelligence because they work with me on the backside. I have a buyer right now that I can't say the name
Mhm.
that is from my home state of Wisconsin and buying here in Florida. And I do Easter egg marketing, right? So you know what Easter egg is? Half of my TikToks are really for somebody, and I'm blatantly going, you don't know who it is, but I'm gonna stick it right on Facebook or right on LinkedIn in your face. My person knows who it is. They're getting the biggest dang kick out of it, going, she did that for me. Like the video I did the other day that was me doing an airport pickup of like,
Mhm.
hi, I'm here to get the girls, whatever. That really was a private video sent to my business owner. He knew it was for him. He knew I was getting his family, but
Mhm.
people here don't know, right?
Right.
And he got the biggest kick out of it. And he knows it's Easter egg, meaning I'm marketing, what I'm doing or whatever, but it's really for them. And I do that for my clients all the time where so they're like, do I get a TikTok? Do I get a TikTok? But not a mention. And it's become a little bit of entertainment for my clients. And I'm okay with that.
I think for you, it helps build that know, like, and trust factor
Yes,
on LinkedIn
absolutely.
for you and your target audience in a
Yep.
very fast way because the,
Yep.
the whole style with the linked, not LinkedIn, the TikTok videos and
Yep.
just your approach with it, it allows people to, even though, as you said, you're very qualified, educated, knowledgeable, and all of that, they
Thank
get to
you.
see the fun side of you and get to you endear them to you, and then it
Yep.
makes it easier to begin that business process. So
That's
I
exactly
think
what happens. And the other thing that happens, quite frankly, this people don't think about. I break all the rules on LinkedIn mostly.
okay, you wait a minute. Okay, Sheri. Again, my business is all about LinkedIn. You can't just be saying that, and then I sit here and be like, "Oh, okay, she breaks all the rules on LinkedIn." She,
Well, this is what I want to say. Well, we're disrupting. So this is what I want to say about what I mean by I break all the rules. This is it. You, I think, would tell people they should have one subject, one genre that they do, right? It's not, I do like 12 things all over the place. Why I break the rules is your LinkedIn, who you want to follow you is typically who you want for your client. Well, guess what? I have people who know me from the speaker and the street smart and the thinker thing. I have people who don't want real estate. And so I break the rules in LinkedIn by I'm not talking about one genre. I
we're
just can't.
we're
I just can't.
multifaceted people. We're not in a box. We're multifaceted people. So
So I don't
I
want to
tell
lose my people
mhm,
that aren't real estate. Like everybody has said to me, sure, you would make so much more money if you just behave yourself and only talk about real estate.
behaviors.
But that's what I get told that a lot. If you just behave yourself, right? Or yes, I get told, would you behave yourself? And you'd make a lot more money if you wouldn't do TikTok. I have had so many people, particularly men, tell me that because they don't understand. I had one guy who told he was a billionaire. It's funny, and he said maybe he didn't like my TikToks because he didn't like everybody, having any contact with me, which they don't. So whatever. But anyway, his comment was, which is ridiculous. Maybe you should spend your time not doing TikToks, but actively trying to do work for your family. Do you know how much money I make off TikToks running through LinkedIn for real estate? Okay, sir.
We do what works for us, right?
Yeah.
We find our process of what works for us, was unique for us, allowing us to be our authentic selves, and we continue to flow with that. If
Yeah.
I did what you do, it may not work for me, but it's not for me, it's for you and maybe someone else. What I do for me, it works for me, and then vice versa. So
Absolutely. And it's
it's
what makes it fun and intelligent for everybody. That we're not all doing the same thing. That would be so boring.
boring. And
Yeah.
I'm glad you've gone through the process though of getting to the point of LinkedIn not being the platform that you cringed about initially, right? That you resisted, that you thought was so stuffy, and the platform has evolved. So it
Yes.
isn't as rigid as it used to be. Before we run out of time, I want to put it out there for anyone who is viewing in real time. If you have any questions for Sheri, please put them in the comments. So maybe write question and then in capital letters, or just type out question rather, and then type out your question, and Sheri will be happy to address that in real time here. But before we wrap up, go ahead and put those questions or comments that you may have for Sheri. But what else would you like to share about the whole process of us being 50 plusers on LinkedIn, especially now in this creator economy focus process that's growing momentum, and how, we should be able to gain value, right? From the content that we create, right? Yes, we can provide content for the enjoyment of content, but when this is our life, there should be some return financially with that as well. And it's not, again, where we're at the end of the process. We're still here and we're still very well qualified. And actually, to another perspective where we bring so much more to the table because of our experiences and our wisdom and all of that we bring to it. But that face, you about to say something. Okay, go ahead, Sheri. Go ahead.
Because you know me, I'm going to say two juxtaposition things because that's the way I am. So the first thing I'm going to say, when you say, what should you tell people that are 55 plus? Forget about it. Forget about it. Don't, why are we coming to work acting like, oh, I got to remember I'm a 55 almost? That's ridiculous. Forget about it. Like, show up as your human being. We are not our shells and our, right, we're our brain and we're our soul and we're our whatever. So the first thing I would say is forget about it and quit driving the bus like I'm 50 whatever you think you are. Like,
Mm-hmm.
stop that. And then the second opposite juxtaposition I would say is,
Mm-hmm.
she's going to laugh here, we talked about this a little bit. You know what, remember you're seasoned. I like that word. I
Mm-hmm.
am seasoned. I have learned over a lifetime, and why I get so many clients that are from 24 to 75 that are coming to me as a woman, and they are wanting me to be able to help them be the one that chooses a home and helps them with their furnishings, not as a decorator, but as a female eye. I always say, and they laugh and go, I hope you have two. I'm like, yeah, I do. They are coming to me because because I happen to be a woman and it's a home. They're coming to me because I was a wife for decades. They are coming to me because I've raised three amazing human beings. They are coming to me because I know how to say to a young gentleman, you might not want to bring your new girlfriend because she's going to think she's picking out this home and moving in with you. And I can say that to my clients on the backside.
Mm-hmm.
So being seasoned is kind of nice. And it's also why I say step up, right? Step up in the seasoning. One of the cool things going on TikTok is somebody who figured out branding, that what your dad never taught you is one of the million view accounts. And it is a man who is just regular person in blue jeans teaching people how to change the oil in their car. Whatever. Moms could do the same thing, right? You could do it in any genre, but it is what your dad didn't teach you. It's one of the biggest accounts going on TikTok. So we could use that experience that we have in a lighter, fun, or easy way. And do you know who's the number one people learning on TikTok? They're getting an education from TikTok in Gen Z, millennials. They are going to TikTok to learn, like we used to go to YouTube. So you being a consultant, they are on TikTok to learn. They want to have a little bit of fun, a little bit of laugh, and I want to learn something. That is TikTok. If it is not an ad, it is the best free ad you could ever have.
Okay, so because this is a part of LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program and my project for the LinkedIn Creator Accelerator program, we're not going to focus so much on TikTok. And I see a
Yeah,
question that I in the comments that's more specific to TikTok. So
sure.
you could respond to that after the show. I would
Absolutely.
greatly appreciate it. But we're going to keep this on the value of LinkedIn and the fact that, and so not that we have to be minded, so to speak, or have to carry the weight, so to speak, of our age. It's the whole, at least for me, perspective of no matter what our age is, especially as Gen Xers and baby boomers, we still have value that we bring to the
Absolutely.
table, especially as content creators. And there is a comment from Violet. Hi, love your vibes. So shout outs to you then. Sheri, and she's in agreement that LinkedIn is a bit stuffy, but I want to push back on that a little.
Oh,
And
I don't think it has been in the last, since you and I have really been jamming on it. I don't think it has been stuffy at all. So I think that changed. I think that changed probably a good 5 years ago for my feel of it. I don't know. Everybody feels it differently, but I think in the last 5 years, it's gone wide open. And quite frankly, I'm shocked at a lot of the stuff they just let fly through there. Right? It didn't used to be you could talk about religion, politics. You know, it was like that was a big, huge no-no. Right? They've
right,
let a lot move and go. They've people who were first upset were people who were like, this isn't business Facebook, right?
right.
LinkedIn has become a much more, this is what I think was the smart of LinkedIn. They started to behave as the best networking platform in the world. First of all, because I get a lot of international people. I've learned
It's a
so much
global
internationally.
platform. Right,
But also we have become, what is your whole life? Because here's me as a former, high school marketing teacher, HR person for a little while, but I hated all the rules and the what, right? We don't come, what we've done wrong in work society from the beginning of work is we pretend it was containerized. Leave everything out the door and just bring your work widget in here. And I'm going to teach you how to go on the assembly line so you behave yourself, produce something, and get out. I am a whole human being. What has happened, and it's been uncomfortable, but it's beautiful, is we're showing up at work as a whole human. Because guess what?
of
I'm a
course.
way better thinker at work because I'm also a mother, because I've also been through this, because
Right.
that's why I'm better. And so that, I think, is the beauty of what you and I have seen on LinkedIn in the last 5 years.
The platform indeed has evolved. It's not the platform that it used to be. And I always say the platform is what you make it to be.
Yes,
So
absolutely.
if your news feed doesn't have the right mix, you need to train the news feed. A part of that is who you engage with. A part of it who you're connected. A part of it is what your content is, but it's not the platform that it used to be. So it is so much more that a lot of people just don't understand it enough to take advantage to get the more part of the platform. There is a question uh, pertaining to LinkedIn. um, do you report and block only for the creepy men? So the inappropriate comments or inappropriate DMs. Do you block those individuals? Are you reporting them?
Yeah, so you know this. Clarine's been with me on the whole journey of this. She and I talk on the backside. We've had several times, both, with our experience and our backgrounds and stuff. I was at a point where I at one point was upset with LinkedIn because we were only allowed 300 blocks. You had a capacity of number of people you could block. That's not appropriate depending on the number of people who are harassing you. So for myself, here's what I can tell you as a almost 55-year-old woman, which I would want every woman on the platform to do. And Clarine knows this, why I speak up about the stuff that happens with me, because I'm protecting the women that are younger than myself. That's what I'm doing. I'm protecting the wives who their husbands have no clue what really happens on LinkedIn in a day. And I'm also teaching, because I'm going to get a little emotional. All three of my children are on the platform. One of them would not like to tell me who they are, tell you who they are, because they're worried about it, right? But all three of my kids are on here now. They are professionals. They are in there, whatever, right? I want it to be a good experience. I will tell you, I got offered, I'll come back to this question. I got offered $50,000 for feet pics off somebody baiting me on LinkedIn for 3 years straight.
What?
Yes, this is what happened. So I had a young person, and he was not 30, who used to watch my original Street Smart videos. And he started sending me messages and said, oh gosh, I get such a kick out of you. You're so intelligent, whatever. Can I send you a pair of Louis Vuitton? No, thank you. I'm happy wearing regular shoes. It's all good, right? He kept this up for 3 years straight of, just sending me messages. And can we send you shoes you can use in your video? Well, a lot of creators do that, right? They accept product and they whatever. I'm a smart aleck. Guess where I told him to send the shoes? To my son's address. I said, you go ahead. Yeah, sure. Finally, after 2 years, I said, yeah, go ahead. You can send them to this address. I put my name on it, but it was my son's address at the time.
Mhm.
And then the guy says, can you just send me one or two because we love the arch of your foot? What do I know? I'm so naive. I'm not into this foot thing that I didn't even understand, right? Long story short, he ends up saying to me, can I talk to you for just 1 second off of LinkedIn? And I'm like, oh, this is not sounding so good. But again, I'm naive, right? He says to me, I got some guy who will pay you 50 grand to just show up in person. So not pictures, show up in person. I won't describe here because it's incredibly inappropriate. He said, you can bring a bodyguard. I'm not kidding you. This came off of LinkedIn, and it was a 28-year-old who works for a company that is what is on his LinkedIn profile. So I could call that company, and it's a very known company. And if they had any clue, their person is pimping out sex trafficking on LinkedIn. Okay. And this was just 2 years ago. We'll give you, yeah.
Let me just say this.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry
yeah.
that has happened. And again, and you and I, again, the history that we have, and it's a whole chapter in my LinkedIn book about harassment on the platform. We as women have to empower ourselves to protect ourselves on the platform.
Absolutely.
And so even directly to Brenda's question,
yes,
I block, I report, I delete connections. Just because we're connected doesn't mean we have to stay connected. If I get any, bad negative vibes or content or messages that are not appropriate, I don't have time for it. That's not what I'm on LinkedIn for.
So you and I do the same.
I block, I delete connection or remove connection invites, and I report as appropriately.
I do that same thing. And then, I do one other sassy thing. I am not afraid, sir, to show your face on LinkedIn and talk about what you did.
I am one. You do it. You expose them.
I expose them. So I'm just giving you that heads up. That's one of my strategies too. I will expose you. You do something like that to me, and I'm not doing it just to protect myself again. I'm doing it to protect the younger women, the husbands and the dads that are on LinkedIn that send me messages and say, Sheri, thank you so much for my daughter. Thank you so much for my wife. I had no clue she was experiencing that because she couldn't tell me, right? So I will expose them. I never used to do this, and I remember the first time I did it. They send them in your DMs, right? So I'm gonna, if you do something that's not okay, I'm gonna snap your picture. It is your LinkedIn, face, your name, your whatever, and the message you sent me, and we're gonna talk about it in a post up front so that I can help people, right? And I'm not doing it to publicly shame you. I'm doing it to say, dude, we are not anonymous here. That was a digital tattoo that will last forever. Would you like to keep that up? And it's not all sexual. Some of it is really bullying and harassing.
Right.
And I am not afraid to drag your behind up front in LinkedIn, and let's be an example today, sir. Not a problem.
No is no in reference to our content, our presence on the platform as well. So it's unfortunate that happens. But
if we quit, but if we let them quit, they win. That's why I get up every day and still do this.
Right. And LinkedIn is exclusive platform for professional business purposes, but it's not flawless. It's not where it's protected from all of that kind of stuff happening. It happens less because of measures that the platform has in place, more so than other platforms.
Yes.
So when it happens, we have to address it head on.
And I'm a huge fan of LinkedIn. I love it. I wouldn't be on here. I wouldn't be doing what we do if I didn't. I am so thankful. I think it's an amazing platform. What a way to really connect. I'm not the spam in your thing. I'm the real engagement. It's a real networking experience to build relationships. Mm-hmm. And that's what I love.
And so that reminds me of a question I had, like when we communicated previously about this. You create all your content. You don't use a VA or assistant to create. You're not using an automated system. It's all organic, right?
It is me with this little, now today, iPhone 13. I don't really know how to edit. But that's part of my shticker appeal, right? Of This is why I'm laughing, because you are technical. I am not technical. And what makes me laugh, I thought you were, ma'am. You come off but people think I am because I post on LinkedIn and on TikTok, and they go, oh, Sheri can handle this. Sheri, I am so not technical. I don't have the brain cell. I wished I did. I have creativity that can get myself in trouble or good things.
Right.
And I know how to just kind of, snap and click and run the ring lights. You and I are talking about, it's embarrassing if someone comes to my place that doesn't know me.
What's around us behind the scenes, right?
I have some ring lights. That's about it. So all I have is my phone and my ring lights. That's it. Unless Faith dies doing something that's, and then we identify that, but very rarely. It's just me and a phone and some ring lights, and that sounds bad. That's what I'm doing.
No, but you're making it work. And I wanted
Yeah.
to talk about that,
Yeah.
or just bring it up, because a lot of times people feel like they have to be, have all the fancy equipment, be super tech and be super polished and do this and do that. And you start wherever you at, and whatever you can do that and advance as you can, or not, or just continue. Again, the reference to Dr. Charlie, where he does his dash cam,
Yep.
videos, and it's just him and
And
his phone, and that's
it's his appeal. That's
right.
his appeal to people. First of all, he's a beautiful soul. He is, you can just, I remember when I first listened to him, because I'm one of the ones that really encouraged him to get on video. He wasn't doing
Right.
it before. He was doing static posts. And I'm like, I did a call with him once, so I privately got to video with him. And I'm like, sir, he's got a beautiful smile. He's got a twinkle in his eyes. He's got a really nice masculine tone to himself that just feels like protective, but encouraging and whatever. And I'm like, you need to get on video. You need to get on video. And when he first
Gave
started,
credit that it's all your fault that he got started. He mentioned that when he was on with me. I want to acknowledge this comment from Mark,
Sure.
and he shares they need a system to go track repeat offenders and ban, and also file charges if needed.
They do, because I actually have one really good friend who was a huge creator in her early 30s who had death threats, and it's not okay. And it came from LinkedIn. It's not okay. It's not LinkedIn's fault. It was a person who was behaving badly. Okay. But this is a serious thing. And then we end up having to choose, am I going to prosecute this person where then my name and my address is public, which sucks, and I have to go through a court thing, or we go, it's too scary, I'm done. And the big thing is, I don't ever want anybody in an unsafe situation. But again, I also say that's why those of us women who are of a seasoned age are out here showing a little more boldness to take care of our other women. And you may not even realize we're doing that, but that's part of why some of us are a little, firmer or sassy or whatever. And it's to pave the way, But that person that said that, that's 110% right. It's no different than if you would do it to somebody in person. I had somebody follow me to tell me exactly what I was wearing and where I was at this particular time and whatever. And I'm like, and messaging me, I just saw you walk out of whatever you were wearing, this and what. And I thought, that was too much information.
Right.
Too much information about my personal life.
Wow. Well, thank you, Sheri. Again, I appreciate you accepting my invitation and coming and sharing and showing that we can be 50 plus and
absolutely
still rock on LinkedIn with our content, and
absolutely
having very engaging, unique, authentic content that starts conversations, build community, and generates business for us as well.
That's exactly right. I appreciate the opportunity to contribute. Like, that's what makes me happy and why I do this stuff. It's super easy and fun to jump in the hot seat and you drive. I like that. It's good.
Well, we'll see if I will continue this series or not, and maybe there'll be another opportunity for us to partner together in some way.
Absolutely. I'm proud of you for being collaborative with LinkedIn. That's impressive, and I'm proud of you, and I'm happy for you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
So I'm gonna wrap it up because we're over the 30 minutes, way over, but I appreciated the conversation, and thank you everyone who has joined us in real time. Again, this is a part of my Creator Accelerator program project, Disrupting Ageism in the LinkedIn Content Creator Community. Don't miss any of my content, because my content regarding this project is more than just this mini series of LinkedIn Lives. All throughout the weeks that I'm in the program, I have content related to this topic. So if you're not already following it, please follow the hashtag that you see in the ticker at the bottom. As Sheri mentioned before, sometimes it can be very challenging to find content on LinkedIn. One of the ways to do that is having unique hashtags to index our activity or our specific content. So for this project, my hashtag is 50 plus LI creators. So on the top left on LinkedIn, in the search option, put in the hashtag 50 plus LI creators. Follow that if you're not following already. then you can go and see all the previous content that I have regarding this project and keep track with the content moving forward as well. So again, 50 plus LI creators. I'll be back with 2 more episodes in this mini series, and we'll see what the future holds for this topic. It has been so much more than I anticipated as far as people responding. Cool. I thought it was just something that was a pet peeve of mine, but it's a pet peeve of so many others. And I've just been honored to have the privilege to be a part of leading the conversation. I'll just say that. Anything that you want to say as we close or share, Sheri?
I just want to say one of my favorite quotes of all time is "You are a once in all of history event." So if you do not get out or share or do or allow people to experience you, and it doesn't mean it has to be a big volume, we'll never have the chance. And I think that's just something amazing for everybody to think about, you know? I also respect the people that want to be on the feed and are quiet, and that's okay, you know? I love you and I appreciate you, Clarine. I appreciate you as a disruptor. I appreciate you as a, survivor. I appreciate you as you and I have accomplished a lot of amazing, great things. I know we're also super open. All right. I know, but I was just say I'm open, and so are you, to an amazing, beautiful next act, right?
Yes.
And it's just been fun too to see our whole lives grow over the last years that you and I have been connected. It's just fun, and it's fun to see that with everybody else on LinkedIn too.
Right. I think and I made a post yesterday about my predictions with technology in reference to LinkedIn. I'm hoping I'm right in my prediction that LinkedIn is going to become more of a powerhouse when it comes to social media platforms and not continue to be the underdog that it has been, especially with everything else that's going on with some of the other platforms. LinkedIn has been consistent and has been true to its mission and its vision for the members to get results from the platform and protecting us as much as it can so that we can generate our results. But you and I can talk forever.
I know, right?
Thank you. Thank you, everyone who has tuned in, whether you're live or you see the replay. Thank you so much. And I'll be back again for at least 2 more episodes of spotlighting LinkedIn content creators who are 50 plus. Thanks again, and take care and continue to engage with the content regarding this topic.